So we hear it a lot. People feel like they're stuck and they can't get out. How hard is it to get out of one of these timeshares?
Yeah, well, I can tell you it's typically not fast or easy. Considering over 55% of our clients have already tried and failed to end their ownership at least once before hiring us. And they told us they tried going back to the resort, they tried selling it, they tried giving it away. But what's most concerning is that 1 in 4 of those people told us they hired a bad exit company and failed them, cost them more time and money.
The other thing that gets talked about a lot with this, and there have been some articles about it, talking about, well, just go back to the resort owner and see if they'll take it back. And when they get into it, they get sold even more. So they're trying to get out of it, and they get sold a bigger investment into this. What's your take on that? What's your argument for people that say just call them and they'll take care of it?
Yeah, a lot of timeshare owners tell us that when they bought their timeshare, they relied on what the timeshare sales representative did tell them. Some owners tell us that they weren't given the time or opportunity to read and fully understand the contract before signing, but at the end of the day, they signed it. And, that's a mistake. And the reality is that many of these owners relied on what the resort rep told them about their timeshare. But knowing what I know, that many timeshare contracts contain what's become commonly known as this license to lie clause, a clause that basically absolves developers legally from anything a resort representative might tell the consumer. It really begs the question, how can anyone reasonably expect consumers to know when a resort rep is telling the truth or telling a lie, whether it be about the timeshare or the timeshare exit program? After all, it is the resort representative's job to explain what the product is that they're selling. The consumer in this case is at a disadvantage because they often believe what the representative tells them versus reading and understanding the contract before signing. And again, that's just a mistake. And that's why I say if the consumer has the right kind of help, the playing field between consumer and resort representative can be leveled. And that's where we come in. We provide knowledge, experience, key industry relationships, and personal legal representation that can help level the playing field for consumers, and in some cases, again, present options that consumers may not even know exist.
The industry got a lot of attention when John Oliver did a story on it recently. What was your take on that story?
Yeah, I did see it. And John Oliver, I'll say, has done a tremendous job over the years, and he's built a large and loyal audience. And, he's built a large podium from which to speak to the masses. And so kudos to him. And I could tell you out all the press releases, consumer alerts, TV, radio, podcast interviews, everything that we did regarding issuing alerts about the issues consumers face with both the timeshare and the timeshare exit industry didn't add up to a fraction of the audience John reached with just one show. And I'll say John and his team really did a good job of pointing out the many issues that timeshare owners face from both sides, the timeshare and the timeshare exit industry. Having said that, I think one of the areas where I believe John got it wrong, or maybe better said, I disagree with John. And, John's not a timeshare exit expert, so I don't blame him. But I would say that there is real hope and real third-party help out there for timeshare owners seeking to end their ownership. And we're testament to that fact. Timeshare owners, they don't have to go it alone. We provide real help for timeshare owners. And again, in some cases, we can present options that consumers may not even know exist. So consumers, you're not alone, we can help.
Why do people want out?
The most common reasons people come to us looking for help is that it's limited, their availability is limited, they can't go when they want. The costs associated with the timeshares become too much, typically by way of the rising maintenance fees or special assessments. And most times their lifestyle has just simply changed due to health reasons or financial reasons.
Why is the timeshare exit industry needed?
The reality is there wouldn't be an exit industry in our free market economy if there was no consumer demand for it. I'll also tell you that a trustworthy, legitimate third-party exit company really serves as a valuable part of a healthy life cycle for timeshare ownership. And look, I believe that some of the resorts that we work with understand that. And they also get that some of their owners, for whatever reason, simply prefer to work with a third party. They don't want to deal with their resort directly. They want expert help, and even in some cases, legal representation to help them, and they should have access to that. So just to take it a little bit further, Without the exit industry, consumers would have no choice or third-party help to call when they wanted to. So having said that, the exit industry has a lot of problems. I've issued, like I said before, no less than 20 press releases over the years regarding the issues the exit industry faces. And the Consumer's Guide really is all about the troubles caused within the exit industry. So the timeshare exit industry has very little regulation and oversight, and the market has become flooded with bad actors and people making all sorts of promises that they wind up being unable to fulfill for whatever reason. It's gotten to the point where timeshare owners don't even know who to trust to help them end their ownership. I'll end with this. During the past 18 years that I've been in the timeshare exit industry, I've been an advocate for consumer education and industry reform. And I believe the solution is to regulate the exit industry, shut down the bad actors operating in it, and prevent bad actors from even entering in it in the first place. Because the reality is, people often try to get out on their own and they fail, and they turn to us to help them. Consumers need access to reliable third-party help, should they choose to seek it. And that's where we come in. Newton Group and our partner law firm offer timeshare exit experience, knowledge, key industry relationships, and personal legal representation that can help level the playing field for timeshare owners. Like I said before, we often provide options that consumers may not even know exists. We can really help.
You hear this a lot from people that are looking to get out of their timeshare. I'll just stop paying, or somebody told me to just stop paying on it.
Yeah.
Is that the best course of action for people?
That's pretty common. You know, we tell timeshare owners before they even sign up with us that non-payment may be your best and or only option, but we're going to explore every option first. And again, with us, our clients benefit from having a personal attorney that has a fiduciary duty to help them do and decide what's in their best interest. That attorney represents the client, not us. So they can discuss every option we present to them with their personal lawyer and make the decision that is best for them and their family. But again, non-payment should be a last resort and made only after you've discussed the pros and the cons of non-payment with a lawyer that represents you personally. And that's what we offer our clients. And by the way, in some cases, non-payment still might not get you out. I really want to stress this point though, because this is an area where a lot of disinformation, misinformation, and just simply, honestly, bad advice exists coming from exit companies, news articles, bloggers, organizations, you know, all well-meaning, I'm sure, but if these people knew what we know, I highly doubt they'd be so cavalier in their suggestion to timeshare owners to just simply stop making payments on legally binding contracts, or even half of the stuff they suggest that timeshare owners should try and get out. So most of these people sharing or giving this advice never even talked to a single timeshare owner, maybe even 10, let alone surveyed over 9,000 like we have. So many of these people have no clue what they're talking about, yet they give advice as if they do. And as a result, some of their advice is just simply dangerous. They should really do some research.
What should consumers look for to make sure they don't get ripped off?
The first thing everyone should know is that nobody can guarantee when or even if the resort will let you out or even let you transfer your ownership to someone else. These are legally binding contracts. So knowing that, marketing promises that seem too good to be true usually are. These things are nice to hear as a consumer, but it doesn't mean they are true. Things like a guaranteed exit, a 100% success rate, a 100% money back guarantee, or we'll give your money back, a guaranteed time frame. We've got secret proprietary services. You know, we're not going to tell you how we're going to help you, but we're just going to help you. So marketing messages like these give the consumer a false sense of security and really serve to take their attention off the actual service they're paying for, which in some cases may not be much. So the consumer needs to focus on the actual service. The exit company or law firm, whoever it is that's helping them, is going to provide, and not the marketing fluff.
So this can be a complicated process at times. I know every case is different, but what should it typically look like for a consumer?
Well, we tell people the best protection and service is a dual service model that combines timeshare exit knowledge and experience with individual legal representation for one flat fee. And to be clear, and this is important, individual legal representation means the exit company or whoever retains a personal attorney to represent and work directly with the timeshare owner to advise them regarding their legal rights as they navigate through the timeshare exit process. And this is exactly what we offer our clients.
You've done a lot of work in this space, a lot of research. Tell us about the consumer's guide to timeshare exit.
Yeah, we're proud of that. Most places will offer some sort of download that usually equates to nothing more than a sales or marketing magazine for why use us, which is fine. But after being in this business for as long as we have and seeing firsthand how many consumers are being harmed when just simply trying to end their ownership, we wanted to help. I wanted to give consumers access to education and really insider information that we possessed that might help protect them from the bad actors and the scams that affect so many timeshare owners and plague the timeshare exit industry today. It's a free resource. It's available on our website, newtongroup.com. It contains a checklist and information that really can help timeshare owners.
And you may not have an answer off the top of your head of this, but this is one for me because this actually came up in the John Oliver story, and it hit home for me with a parent who has a vacation club timeshare deal. When they pass away and that comes into the estate, it sounds like the kids are stuck dealing with this and trying to get out of it. What should people know if your parents have this type of arrangement, a timeshare or a vacation club? What should that second generation know?
So I would tell them to consult with a lawyer. These are legally binding contracts. In not all cases, many of them do contain that perpetuity clause, which will put it into your estate. But there are things that you can do to deny the estate, but then it goes down to the next of kin and the next of kin. So keep in mind, legally binding contracts, consult with the experts and attorneys. In that particular case, I would really make sure that you have legal representation. If you have a loved one that just recently passed, make sure, because there is a time frame in which you can deny it and reject it. You don't have to accept it, but then it goes on to the next one. So it depends on the legal language.
The timeshare exit industry seems to have a bad reputation. What makes Newton Group different or unique?
Well, there are a few things that make us unique: our experience, knowledge, key industry relationships. But in addition to that, and really key, the owners of Newton Group, along with some really smart and experienced attorneys, founded what has become the nation's leading timeshare consumer rights law firm. And this really allows us to provide an unmatched service combining timeshare exit experience, expertise, knowledge, along with providing personal legal representation. And because the owners of Newton Group are also owners of the law firm, we're able to keep those services affordable. It's like going factory direct. We remove the middleman.
Who are the people who are buying timeshares?
The demographics might surprise you. The average age of a timeshare owner today is 39 years old. I can also tell you that 38% of them, they earn $100,000 or more. Most of these people are couples. 68% are either married or in some form of domestic relationship. So we're seeing the younger couples buying them today.
We all know there have been some bad actors in the timeshare exit industry. Some of these offer money-back guarantees. You say a consumer shouldn't trust that guarantee, though.
Yeah, unfortunately, many of these money-back guarantees, they're just not worth the paper they're printed on. For example, over the past few years, there have been over 40 exit companies that have closed down or filed for bankruptcy, and almost all of those companies sold the consumer on a promise of a money-back guarantee. And at the end of the day, those guarantees, they didn't do anything for the consumers. So consumers need to focus on the service being provided. The service is what you pay for, and it is what will hopefully get you out. The money-back guarantee is not a service. It's just marketing puffery.